everyone, welcome to another session of MAmiTEO Teaches Math. Our topic for today is illustrating random sampling. What is random sampling? Random sampling is a method of selecting sample from the population such that each member of the population has an equal chance of being included in the sample. Suppose you are into research and you want to know the experience of these people who are vaccinated with this COVID vaccine. Your population, of course, will be all the people who took this vaccine. To represent this whole population, you will be getting samples. How do we get these samples? To get these samples, we will be using, of course, this Slovin's formula. This one is S is equal to N over 1 plus N E squared. This E represents the standard margin of error, which is from 2% to 5%. We have this margin of error because, of course, we are not getting all the populations. So, this S, of course, is the number of samples, and this N is the number of the entire population. Suppose your entire population is 9,000, and the standard margin of error that I will be choosing is, of course, 2%. So, this one is 9,000 over 1 plus 9,000 times, I will be changing this one into 0.02. So, this is 0.02 squared. Okay, so S now is equal to 9,000 over 1 plus 9,000 times 0.0004. So once you press this on your calculator, you will be getting here 1,957. This 1,957 will be your samples, of course, from the 9,000 population. Remember that samples can be drawn from this so-called random sampling. There are 4 types of random sampling. Number 1 is simple random sampling. 2, systematic random sampling. 3, stratified random sampling. And 4, cluster random sampling. Simple random sampling is the most basic random sampling wherein each element in the population has an equal probability of being selected. So here you may use the so-called fishbowl technique, in which you will be placing all the names of the participants or your population inside the fishbowl, and then you will just pick it. How many samples are you going to get there? So another one is the so-called name of wheels. You may use the application name of wheels, in which you will be placing all of those names in, of course, so-called roulette, the name of wheel, and then you will just spin it and get, of course, the samples. Now, for the second one, systematic random sampling, it is a random sampling technique that involves a system or a planned strategy. So here in systematic, of course, you will be using a system. Let's say, for example, you will just get the people who are on the 5th in every list, okay? Or you will just be getting, of course, those who are males or those who are doctors. Number 3, stratified random sampling is a random sampling technique in which samples are selected based on the specific subgroups or strata. Suppose you want to know, of course, the performance of students in general mathematics. Of course, general mathematics is a core subject. So, for each strand, TVL, ABM, Hume's, STEM, you will just be getting there, of course, samples. Okay? So, that is what we call stratified random. Cluster random sampling is a random sampling techniques in which groups, not individuals, are randomly selected. Any intact group of similar characteristic is a cluster. So what is the difference between stratified and cluster? In stratified, you will be getting individuals. Here, you will be getting, of course, groups. So the most commonly used survey in the Philippines is the so-called Pulse Asia and, of course, the Social Weather Station. because there is a certain area only in which you will be gathering, of course, your information. You will be gathering, of course, the needed information for that. Sampling techniques that involve random selection are called probability sampling. The random sampling that we have discussed, the 4 random sampling, are called probability sampling. Sampling techniques that do not involve random selection of data, they are called non-probability sampling. And examples of this are convenience sampling and purposive sampling. Convenience sampling, if you will just get the samples on your own convenience. And then purposive sampling, you will get the samples on the purpose of the study, based on the purpose. Identify the random sampling technique used in each item. You are given a list of all graduating students in your school. You decide to survey every 10th student on the class list and ask them the organization that they belong. Of course, we are asked to get only every 10th student on the class list. So this one is, of course, a systematic random sampling. Okay, number 2. You wish to make a comparison of the gender differences in mathematics performance. You divide the population into 2 groups, male and female, and randomly pick respondents from each of the group. This one is, of course, stratified. You divide the population into 2 and then you pick from each group. So that is stratified. Number 3, you assign numbers to the members of the population and then use draw lot to obtain your samples to answer your survey on the most popular festivals in the country. This one is, of course, the simple random sampling because you use draw lots here. Number 4, you randomly pick 5 out of 15 barangays to conduct your survey in your municipality or city about this best environment-friendly practices. So 5 out of 15 barangays. Each barangay is a group, so this one is cluster. And number 5, you write the names of each student in pieces of paper, shuffles, and then draw 8 names to answer survey of their ethical media practice. This one is also simple.